Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, just a short little video of Project Summit. Today I decided to go ahead of time to do the light mod. Sorry, Neil. I wanted to do this just to see what was going to happen. Now you can buy an actual light kit that will go mount into here and pop it back on, and all the wiring comes with it and the whole nine. But I've got enough parts, like my JST connectors, wiring, the whole nine, to do this like 60 times and cost me peanuts, right? So anyways, I went with all 4 lights being ultra bright white lights because that's what I wanted. Now one thing you're going to notice is the 2 center lights are actually down a little bit, and one comes in to go to the right side of the truck, the other one dips and goes to the left side of the truck. What happened is when you drill the back ends of these things, there's like a little prong that comes up, and it's got like the center, already impressioned for, you can put a drill bit there. So I went with those holes. I thought, well, they seem to look really centered, and apparently the outside ones were actually darn near perfect, dead on. But the inside ones are both down a little bit, and like I said, one goes this way, and this one here goes this way and down a little bit, but they're the exact same measurements, which is kind of really funky. So it kind of, I guess what it's going to do is it's going to allow more of the light to get compressed in here, but a little bit of a lower spot, higher spot there, lower spot here and a higher spot here, which is going to probably do something good for the lighting, I would imagine. You do have headlights that come with this thing from the factory, and red tail lights on the back, and they're always on when the truck is on, and that's fine. That doesn't bother me at all. Because really LEDs, guys, they really don't kill your run time, like maybe a few seconds, like whoopee, you know what I mean? So they just don't draw a lot of juice. So, but at least we know now when we do my buddy's summit what we're into, unless of course he wants to try and get a dead-on precise measurement from the front end. That's fine. But like I said, I wanted to go from the back end and see how it worked, because it looked like it was going to go dead center. So I started out with a really small drill bit just to make my hole all the way through, and then of course I went to the front end with a 5mm drill bit. So if you are going to install your own LEDs into the factory roof kit and you want to try this, you will need a 5mm bit. The reason for that is these are 5mm LEDs. Unless you go with smaller LEDs, in which case it'll be like a 3mm. I probably wouldn't go with 10mm, because I think that would be like way overkill. It would drown these things right out too. Anyways, so it's about $18 for the actual light kit. Like, that's what we found online. And I've got maybe, I don't know, I buy my LEDs in a massive bulk, so I probably got about 3 cents worth of LEDs here. I got wiring from various other things, that's the proper gauge, so maybe, 10 cents worth of wire. JST connectors, well, that was a couple of dollars for a pack of connectors, so that wasn't bad. So I've got like under $5 tied up into this project. But just to give you an idea, there's one of the LEDs lit up, and that's how it's going to show for that one. And then of course you've got this one here. And so on. Now these will all be running all at the same time. So now I can't do anything else now for a few days, because I gotta wait till I get a couple of dollars, and then I gotta go buy some more heat shrink tubing. The other thing I'm gonna do is, once I get these wired, is I'm gonna seal in the back ends with hot glue, which will prevent any kind of water from building up inside and corroding the legs and stuff. And I had a couple of these standoffs for LEDs left over in my box from various other things I've ripped apart. So that actually helped, and they fit right in there. So when I glue them in there, it's going to be great. It's going to hold everything separate the way it should. The leads are definitely going to be cut short so that everything is hidden as much as possible. And then I'm going to try and get my hole drilled as central as possible, so that I'm actually going to measure out to be dead center in the middle of all this. And then I can feed my wiring harness down and figure out where I'm going to hook it up and how. His idea, one of them was going with a Y adapter, and I'm starting to think that maybe that was actually the better idea than what I came up with. So I think we're going to go with that, because the thing is if I hardwire this in, that means that my body shell can't come completely off and away. So if we go with Y adapters, awesome idea, Neil, then we can just make like a little plug-in somewhere where we can unplug the top rack, and then you can pull the canopy right off and get it out of the way, work on your truck hassle-free. Because these lights here stay on, they're under the bumpers, right? So there's no lights physically mounted onto the shell other than what these are going to be. So anyways, that's our next portion of our project. Our ESC is supposed to be in either Tuesday or Friday of this coming week, so then we will have our truck up and running, and I'm going to do a couple break-in runs, weather permitting, just because I don't want to get this thing all full of slush and that right away. I need to break the engine in properly. It's a brand new engine, so I want to break it in gently. So as long as the roads are nice outside, I'll just, you know, break it in with a couple sets of batteries, and away I go, and then I'm all set to rock. But so far this is where I'm at with it, and this is the kind of the one mod that I did want to do, because I want to do night driving with this thing, so I need as much light as possible, and this is definitely going to help with a lot of light. The other thing is I wanted to mention that he mentioned to me, and this is for all Summit owners of this big beaster, for sure the big beaster. I don't know about the 1/16 scale one, but for sure this one. As you guys all know, these tires are soft, right? And one thing he mentioned to me is that when you have the Summit sitting on a hard surface all the time, the foam can actually build up kind of like a memory, and you'll get flat spots in your tires. So there's a couple of ways to avoid this that was suggested, one of which he says, you know, take the tires off, which you could do that, but to me it's a bit of a hassle, and I like having my vehicles all together, you know, when I have them in my room here. The other option is to elevate it somehow. Now, I do have one of these RC car work stands. I had to actually use it and a roll of painter's tape underneath to jack it up high enough, because the work stand is actually way too short. It just slides under. So this gives me about 1/4 of an inch of clearance under every single tire, so that there's no pressure on the tires when the vehicle is in long-term storage. You know, when you're driving it, that's one thing. It doesn't hurt anything. It's just the long-term storage thing. You know, so you want to make sure that those tires don't get the foams all squished in on them. So that was the other thing that I wanted to mention that he had told me about, and thought I'd pass that info along to you guys. Anyways, it's looking good, you know, and like I said from the last video, you know, we have tested all of our electronics. We know they're all good. The motor's brand new. That's been tested already. And so now we just got to wait for the new speed controller to come in that I ordered. And it'll be back up and alive again. And then we can start ordering a bunch of extra spare parts that I want to have on hand all the time. So anyways, thanks for watching, and let me know what you guys think, and catch you on the next video.